want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the direction. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
Hello, welcome to Melaninandalbinoid Live. I am Lydia Bimbola. Welcome to today's segment of my vlog. As you well know, for those of you that have been following me, my blog is all about the GANGSTALKING program, the racist system, and the abuse of the fundamental human right. Today I will be explaining to you a little bit more in details about the racist system and how it is implemented. Well, the racist, how they implement the racist system. How the racist system is implemented in different parts of the world is very important. First of all, what is the racist system all about? The racist system is a system established for, I will put it in plain language, for the extermination of the melanin race. Well, unfortunately, I don't want to beat around the words by using decent words or using more correct, politically correct words. That is just what it is, for the extermination of the melanin race. Well, how is this done? It's not putting a gun at our head, even though sometimes it's like that. But there is a more careful way of doing it, and it's been implemented for so many years. How do they do this, and how have they actually gotten away with this wickedness for so long? I will tell you, as I explained to you, a table I prepared before the video. Okay, so basically this is a table I prepared. I hope you see it well. Ways they've implemented the racist system, and the first one is the educational racism, the media racism, social racism, institutionalized racism, law enforcement racism, and governmental racism. All these points are laid here. This institution head in the racist system. First of all, the human race is being guided or structured by some of the system. First of all, the religious system. I have to have that also. Religion. Okay? Okay. So, though I didn't write any point on religion, which I would explain, I forgot to put that. That also is very important for me to put there. Okay? The human race actually was structured by systems. Okay? When we were born, God has actually created a perfect world and created systems that will guide us through this world. First of all, we were born in a family. That is the first institution God created to build us, to mold us. Then from the family is supposed to bring us up in the way of the Lord, which we're not supposed to depart from. And that actually graduates to the religion. Okay? So when the family takes us to the religion, then the religion builds, the family shields us, mold us, guide us. The religion actually now guides us in the way of the Lord. Then the governmental institution that is supposed to care for the citizen of, just like God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, is always a government. God actually, well, a system God actually creates to preside over his people. Okay, in those days they were the prophet, but in these days they are the government. So right now, from the family we have the religion, then you have the governmental institution, then the educational institution. All these institutions are meant to mold us and to shape us. But the racist system has infiltrated God's original order. Well, the only thing I know in the Bible is the only thing that goes against God's original order is actually Satan himself. So who is this what is it that is behind the racist system? Well, penetrating all the system God himself has created to shape us actually for his own use here on earth to benefit us. But if it has been infiltrated, that means there's something that is actually has been shaping our state of mind from when we were even innocent of his existence, and some till today don't even know these things actually is happening. Now let's start from the beginning. The educational racism. I didn't add the family racism because you don't have family racism. You can have siblings rivalry or problem like that, but it's except if it's adoption and things like that. But that is not the major situation now. The ones influencing the world really are these ones here. Educational racism. Educational racism. How is education? How are they actually implementing racism in education? Well, the melanin continent is assumed to be Africa, but that is actually another lie, like so many lies that has been told. The melanin people in Africa, we have the Africans who are from the east of Africa, Tunisia, Moroccans, Ethiopia, Egypt. Those are the original Africans. Every other part of Africa, West Africa in particular, migrated from Israel to Africa, actually not migrating by choice, but they were forced out of their land when the Roman Empire attacked Israel. The Roman Empire attacked Israel, and Jesus said in the Bible, when you see the Roman army coming, you flee. Some of the Israelites who are the melanin right now in West Africa, Nigeria to be precise, that is why you see, that is the reason Nigeria is the focus of so much attack, that Nigeria must be destroyed, because when Nigeria is destroyed, divided, destroyed, and eradicated, Africa is gone. So that is the reason you have major battle against Nigeria internationally, globally, persecution, harassment, stigmatization of our character, and so many things to demoralize us internationally. Well, when they fled Israel, the melanin people, when they fled Israel, according to the word of Jesus Christ, to flee, when they fled towards Africa, according to what Jesus advised them to do, some did not flee. The ones that did not flee was the one that the Roman army took from Israel and went to Rome, and they built Colosseum, where you have gladiators that entertain them by killing themselves. They fight themselves and kill themselves. So those are some of the Israelites that was taken from Israel. And let me just be clear, there's so many things that has been going wrong, and it is actually, you see, I write here in blue, mind control. You know, every system here that is being infiltrated and manipulated is meant to do one thing, mind control, and it has been working for a very long time. Well, some of us are not deceived by all those things, because thank God to Almighty Creator God, that those of us that seek after knowledge, that seek after the truth, will surely find. And that's why I'm sharing some of the things I have learned. Then, miseducation. Education, why I said miseducation is that, you see, education is meant to enlighten us about things. I just want to simplify the whole thing so every audience can understand. I don't want to start blowing big grammars or whatever. I want everybody to understand, because there are sensitive things that people must understand. Education is meant to enlighten, to illuminate our mind. But when we are being miseducated, and miseducation is not globally. It's only on the melanin continent. I'm saying melanin continent referring to Africa now, because that's actually not where the melanin people come from. The melanin people is from Israel, as I explained. But that is not the discussion. That's why I just explained it in a short way. So the assumed melanin continent right now, that we now have educational system. When we fled Israel for Africa, the melanin did so many things. Technology actually started from Africa, from the melanin continent. Okay, the assumed melanin continent. Then the Europeans, who are actually very poverty stricken, they were looking for something to get by, to stand on themselves, to stand on their own. Remember, the Roman, always remember, things I say, I'll try to explain as best as I can. You remember the Roman army were the ones that went during, I'm talking about, before Christ. We're talking about during the reign of Christ, because it was Christ that told them in Israel to flee. So the Roman Empire was a very strong empire, okay? Now, always put that in mind, the Roman Empire, the Roman army. Okay, when the melanin, the Israelites that migrated to Africa by force, they started developing technology and things like that, but the Europeans were really in a very pathetic situation. Then when we talk about the Roman Empire is an empire on its own. That's another topic. It's an empire on its own. The Europeans were suffering so much. They had so much poverty. Then they started going around in search of gold, silver, something to get by, to build themselves upon. They went to America. They were able to conquer the American Indian, because the real Americans are Indians. The Caucasian in America right now, they are the Europeans that migrated there, fought the American Indians, overpowered them, and took over their continent and enslaved them. They started gathering cottons and things like that. Then they tried to conquer Africa, but they could not. Africa, we had technology, we had weapons, we had everything superior than the Europeans. We fought back and destroyed them. They tried again, till the 16th, the 17th, the 18th century. They tried to conquer Africa, but they could not conquer Africa. Then they came back in the early 19th century, okay, to conquer Africa, late 18th to 19th century. They came back to Africa, but now they came back as a deceptive friend. I did a video on friends and undercover enemy. Well, they presented themselves to be a friend, but they were actually an undercover enemy. They came to Africa to accept their career. They're asking for help to develop their own land. And Africa bring what do we have? Melanin people, we come from a religious background. Hebrew is a religion, not Christianity. Hebrew is a religion. We are Hebrews. And when we went to Africa and we allowed the Europeans to come in, we begin to educate the Europeans. We educated the Europeans. Africa, melanin in Africa, educated the Europeans. We taught them how to make boats, how to make ships, that they now eventually used against us. We taught them everything they know. We taught them everything they know. Apart from wickedness and the racist system, we never taught them that. Then, of course, they say here, there is a phrase they say here, sputando dentro la piatto che ti dà la mangiare. So that actually means that, kicking us in the tummy, basically, spitting in the plate that fed them. They actually now knife and everything they could get to stab us in the back. And then they infiltrated Africa through deception, convincing our kings and our queens how they can even help to introduce this into the system, and we were open to it. I believe out of our ingenuity, we're so holy in our heart, we're so pure in our heart, we're so loving with compassion. And that is why right now also I learn a lot of things the way I live my life with compassion. And why I have compassion on people, but now I take care of myself before considering others, because people can be very deceptive and very wicked. And that is how Africa was conquered. Then let's fast forward to educational system. Then when they started, we opened the door and they started penetrating us. When they started penetrating us, then trying to learn from us now became a struggle of power, to overpower us, to conquer us. So they started penetrating, deceiving some of our young people through the same boat we taught them how to make, to take us over to America, to go and join the other slaves, the Indian slaves in America, and the other melanin that actually have been in America. Melanin actually got to America before the European slavery. It was after they conquered the Indians, they now conquered the melanin African melanin that were there, and they brought in more from Africa. That's the story of slave trade. Through, you see, there's a slave port in Ghana and things like that. That's actually how it started, not the bullshit history we have been taught. That is part of the miseducation. Then they started miseducating us. They started dividing us in Africa. The French took the some, Italian, Spanish, English. They started distributing us as animals. And when they took over, they realized that we have so much natural resources. They realized that we're very industrious and entrepreneur. They realized that we're very fruitful. A melanin man touches it just kiss a melanin woman and she's pregnant. They have so many kids in those days. Women can have up to 10, 15 kids, just one woman, and even more without stress. While the albinoid women find it difficult to have few children, they find it very, very difficult. That's just the honest truth. So they started miseducating us that where the mind goes, the man goes. So what happened is that the miseducation is that they created an educational system for us, which actually edifies the albinoid race and actually degrades the melanin people. Which means, first of all, the Hebrew slaves in Israel that actually migrated to Africa, they tried to also pervert the name Hebrews, and they created the name. I think I did a video on that some time ago. They created the name from Hebrew to Hebrews. These Hebrews, they were trying to distort the Hebrew, because once you get Hebrew out of your mindset, you cannot trace your original root, and we're left in limbo and confusion. There's now created Hebrews, but Hebrews was still close to Hebrew. Somebody can work it out in the future. So they now actually from IBOS to IBOGBO. So basically, the Igbos in Nigeria now started calling themselves the Igbo. So this is how they play around with disconnecting us with our identity. Remember, a person that don't have an identity, you are confused. You don't know where you belong. That's why people like us that know who we are, we are melanin, we are proud, we are not bleaching our skin. You see, when you start touching your hair, you want to look like somebody else. You are now, the miseducation of your identity is what you're showing physically. You're showing who you are internally by what you do physically. You have a beautiful melanin skin that people burn their skin to look like you, but still, you change your skin. You have beautiful melanin, afro beautiful hair. You change that and you begin to stretch it. You begin to add Brazilian hair, Cuban hair, Peruvian hair, and all this kind of hair to look like something else. You are now degrading yourself, devalue your identity, because you don't know where you belong. If you know where you belong. You have your beautiful afro, you have your rasta, you are proud of your beautiful melanin skin, and you leave it that way. So the miseducation is that educate them. Let them have an idea of whatever specialty they want. If they want to become a lawyer, doctor, whatever, educate them a little in that level, but miseducate them and let them realize, edify the albinoid and always degrade their own race. So while we're actually being educated, we're being mind controlled. So internationally, those of us that study abroad, I did my study in information technology abroad. I studied in Nigeria, my country of origin, and also abroad. We see the difference between the education abroad and education in Africa. That's why when you come from Africa, you bring your certificate from Africa. They want you to go through a series of exams here to be able to penetrate into the working system, which most of the time you're denied of anyway, whether you are qualified for it or not. So because they know the miseducation is established, they know. So all the things you see as racism, as hatred, is really not hatred. It's the fact that they know what you don't know. It is not hatred. It is just hatred towards us. They know the implementation of the racist system that you and I don't know. But I didn't move high in the situation because I know now. So the educational racism, so they miseducate the melanin people while internationally every other person is educated while the melanin people is miseducated to be degraded while the albinoid is exalted. Okay, and the miseducation also that they actually, made the African continent very small. But the reality is that if you look globally, the melanin race is the largest race on earth. But geographically, on their map, it looks as Africa is just like this. Africa is the biggest continent in the world. Africa has the richest, the most natural resources in the world. But still yet, the racist system again, miseducation. They miseducate us to believe that the African continent, that we are third world country. Here they say paese poveri. So, paese poveri means poor continent. How can poor continent, you actually built the whole of Europe through a poor continent? Most of the millionaires and the billionaires today built their wealth from Africa, and still yet to psychologically miseducate us to believe that we are from a poor continent. Those of us that know the truth, we are melanin and we are proud, and we don't buy into the bullshit of the poor continent. But you find some Africans, you ask them, oh, poveracci, that means, oh, poor people, you come from a poor environment. You see some Africans, you see, yes, Africa is poor, we don't have anything, we cannot eat. Are you crazy? Most of the billionaires and the millionaires in the world got their wealth from Africa. So how can we be, why should we be, it's an audacity, they have the audacity to say we're a continent of poor people. When you make your billions, your millions, your billions, your zillions from our continent. That is miseducation of how they implement the racist system through miseducation. That is why you see some blacks, some melanin people, in their mind, they think they are poor because they've been trained to believe they're poor. And that's why you see some melanin, they don't aspire high. If they say somebody like me, I'm a dreamer, I want to go, I'm an achiever, I strive for my goal, they fight me here, they sabotage me, they do everything to cripple me, to limit my existence, and so many others, not just me. But there are some that they will never even think about. They are just okay from hand to mouth. Miseducation. Then the other one is media racism. The media racism, most of you know that already. I don't need to really say so much about that. The media racism actually has to do with dehumanization of the melanin people. Everything is all about mind control, to dehumanize us. While they dehumanize us internationally, what they're doing is to desensitize people globally not to have compassion on the attack on the melanin people, which means when a black man who is the melanin seed carrier is targeted by the law enforcement agent, we will still get there, I don't want to jump the line, is targeted and being shot, for people to the media desensitize the people from having pity on such a cruel situation. They desensitize the mindset. They dehumanize us. The media dehumanize us to degrade us, to place us in a class with a bad reputation. Oh, that's a melanin woman. She is a prostitute. Oh, that's a melanin woman. She's a thief or she's whatever. They create all kind of evil things against us to place us in a class with a bad name. While the melanin men are being criminalized. Oh, he's a melanin man, he must be a criminal. He's a melanin man, oh, he must be dangerous. Who is dangerous? Aggression has always been from the albinoid race. Aggression has always been from the albinoid race. From going to Israel to kill people, taking people to Colosseum to entertain, people killing themselves to entertain you, going to America to kill people, that is aggression. And they're not going with just one person attacking a whole nation. They got back up from other countries, from other continents. They got back up, they all came together and attacked America. They attacked Africa. That is aggression. But they place us in a class, you see, that is reverse psychology. Accuse them before they accuse us or before they say the truth about us. So now criminalize them. The women, they are all prostitutes. The women, they are all thieves, common thieves, cheap whore. They need to be violated, sexualized, humiliated. While the man is meant to be killed, is meant to be used in the slave, in the whatever, as a slave. No matter the level you achieve in life, either you are part of the system or you are against the system. And when you are against the system, based on how you act and you react to the system, you will be targeted. Just as I am targeted. And when you are targeted, they target you for one reason. To push, to demoralize you to the extent that you renounce that mentality about the truth about the racist system. Then we have social racism. Social racism is very crucial because whoever destroys your social connection is a real enemy. And we've had a real enemy behind us for a very long time as a race. The social system, they censor us, socially censor the melanin people. They socially marginalize the melanin people and demoralize us. What am I saying marginalizing us? They marginalize us. They stop us from the limit we must get to. When a melanin person is aiming to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, informatic, whatever, they want to degrade you on a professional level because the mindset created as a race is we are slaves. We are slaves. So being slave, what they actually is trying to inculcate that into our mindset. Don't dream. Don't try to attain higher than what we have censored you to attain, higher than the box we've placed you in. Then those of us that struggles to get out of the box, to create an identity for ourselves, we are targeted. We are censored, marginalized, and demoralized socially in order to establish the racist system, to implement the racist system. So you see, all those things you can see, mind control, mind control, mind control, mind control, is to control the human race, to exalt the albinoid race, and to degrade, demoralize, and destroy the melanin people psychologically, emotionally, physically, and limit us in every level. And also, poverty is on this list also, but poverty, I'm going to treat it in the part 2 of this video, because poverty needs to be actually looked into critically. Then we have institutionalized racism. Institutionalized racism. You go to the working agency, they already have a mindset that the melanin people are not to be employed. The melanin people, when you give them employment, you give them only slave-like employment. What do I mean by slave-like employment? That means employment with hard labor. Employment with hard labor, not to use their mind, but to use hard labor, to use their hands. Institutionalized racism. Then we have governmental, law enforcement racism. What has law enforcement got to do with racism? A lot. Because a citizen can do something to you, you report the citizen, you take it to court, you can do whatever. Fair judgment may be passed and may not be passed. But with the law enforcement agent, the law enforcement agent is connected with the government. The government actually instructs the law enforcement agent what they should do to a particular person, to a particular race, to a particular group. And the law enforcement agent obey without asking questions. If they say they should exterminate you, they look for ways to set you up to exterminate you. If they look for a way to destroy you, the law enforcement agents are always the ones that are used to destroy you. What they do is that criminalization of a particular target. It might be individual, it might be a group, it might be an institution, it might be a race. And in this case, we're talking about the racist system. So, criminalization of the melanin people. We have so many melanin people, stories upon stories, that have been in prison for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I've seen somebody in prison for 40 years, and he was not guilty as charged. There was no investigation, there was no proof, and yet they condemned him for 40 years. Law enforcement agents. You see situation of melanin men running away. He's not harmed. He's not harmed. He has his back against the law enforcement agent. He's running away. First of all, this person has not been declared a criminal. If you suspect him of something, either you run after him as a law, and his hand is up, but he's running away from you because he's scared. Now, if it was reverse the case, if it was an albinoid, they'll probably run after him, try to bring him down. If they cannot catch up with him, they use a taser. That's the highest they will do. I've seen it so many times. But with a melanin person, they're not using a taser, they're using a bazooka to blow your head. Law enforcement agent. They are the one behind gang stalking and the mobbing program. Gang stalking is actually a program that was created. It was really exposed through Adolf Hitler when he actually zeroed in on the Hebrews. Okay? And when he zeroed in on him, it was through the gang stalking program, the same gang stalking program they use in Africa. Do any of you know that in Africa we had concentration camp? We had one in Kenya and so many other places in Africa. That was actually how they actually brought down Africa, through concentration camp, gang stalking program. where they killed African, they cut off hands. If you're working as a child in the field, you're 14-year-old, maybe you're tired. They take you, they cut off your hand. If you cannot use this hand to serve us, then it doesn't need to exist. They cut the child's hand off, and the child probably, obviously bleeds to death. Gang stalking program and the mobbing system. Mobbing and gang stalking, they are the same thing, but the mobbing, they can target you, few people around you, but the gang stalking program is more fierce. The gang stalking program, the whole nation can form a network around one person. The police will be involved. Every part of the law enforcement agent are involved. They try to, when they see you, if you are somebody you drive, you always have problem with the traffic police because you are gang stalk. If you go, the traffic police will come after you to give you, to find you, to give you a ticket, or to look for something to criminalize you. If you are not the type that drive, if you go around on whatever mobility, they still look for ways to frustrate you. It can be with the train controller, bus controller, it can be anywhere, because you are being a target of gang stalking. They form a network around you for continuous harassment, persecution. They set you up for lies, to criminalize you, to place you in a class with a bad name. Gang stalking program and the mobbing. So the law enforcement agent is behind the criminalization. Then this gang stalking program, it's not just the law enforcement agent that participate in this. The law enforcement agent directly participate, and sometimes also they contract people to participate. Most times, the people they actually recruit to participate in the gang stalking program and the mobbing situation are first people that works in the governmental level, that have an idea of technology, so they can use technology to mob you, invading your private space, which means violating your internet connection, placing hidden camera in your homes, infiltrating even hospitals. Those of you that carelessly go to hospitals, infiltrating hospitals where you are being censored, and sometimes they can pass disease or viruses into your body. It's through this gang stalking program, they actually, in hospitals, they create melanin pills. And when you create a product, you would always have the raw material to create the product, which means when they create melanin pills in the hospital, the raw material is found in the melanin blood. So when, as a melanin person, you go to the hospital, you are exposing yourself to be used and misused. Blood stolen to create melanin pills. That's how much they dehumanize the melanin people. We are not even placed in a level of respect that they will say, we need your blood to create pills to save our race. Can you sell your blood? We'll buy your. They don't even want to buy the blood. They want to steal the blood. Not that they want, they are stealing the blood. And most of the melanin children that disappears are being used for organ harvesting. The gang stalking program. It's not a joke at all. It's not a program they're just going around with you. They're on a mission to exterminate you, or to do something terrible to you, to criminalize you, to exterminate you, to blackball you in the society, to destroy your credibility, to malign your character, and also blackballing you from the society and destroying any source of help. The gang stalking program is also behind unemployment. Because unemployment, I will discuss about that in the poverty the poverty level is so big that I needed to do a video on it. Because when you're unemployed, you don't have money. When you don't have money, you're vulnerable. When you're vulnerable, they can criminalize you and accuse you. It's just like in Nigeria, we say something. It's not good to be poor. When you're poor, if a poor man goes somewhere, they say, if anything means, they say it's that poor person. You did not even do anything, but they say you are the one guilty because you are poor. And that's the vulnerable position they push the melanin race. That's where they're driving Africa to. For decades, Africa has been exploited and abused, but still yet, they're not giving up. Bill Gates declared publicly that Africa's poverty, oh my God, Africa's poverty solution is GMO. Do you know what that means? Genetically modified organism. So now, a continent that has sun that can grow vegetables in a very healthy way and fruits in a very healthy way, Bill Gates says that we are poor, and the solution to help our poverty is to create a genetically modified organism for us to be eating. So any food that we eat in Africa will be created in the laboratory. These people are not joking. Racist system is not a joke. This is not a very appealing topic to discuss. I hope they don't take down this video also. Any of my video that comes out, if you're the type that follows me, immediately my video comes out, download it first and watch for some few days. If they don't bring it out, then it's still there. So many videos I upload, they bring it down. Because I talk only about the racist system. So the gangstalking and mobbing, gangstalking program and mobbing, they do far more than what I'm talking about. Organ harvesting, blood theft, assassination, inflicting people with disease and viruses, exterminating people. We're dealing with a very vicious and evil system. The racist system is not something to joke about. It is evil. Then you have the governmental racism. Well, I don't need to say much about that. As I told you, some of the institutions meant to build us as human beings, we have the family, we have the religion, we have education, we have governmental. And all these institutions are meant to build us as a people. But this governmental racism actually is backed up, is the one backing up the racist system by manipulation of justice to aid the racist system agenda. That is why every president in a country is very important. The problem in America about election, is it Trump, is it Joe Biden, is not about the two individuals. It's about what they stand for. Who is backing up Joe Biden? Who is backing up Donald Trump? I mean, what is their mission? Donald Trump does not listen to all the globalists. He's not working together with what they want. So because of that, it cannot be controlled to achieve their purpose. All the racist system, they begin to attack him with the same system. He can talk some careless word because he's racial, but not racist. Racism is actually somebody that actually is totally mind control on the system, about the system. Racial is somebody comfortable with somebody like them. Like me now, I can consider myself to be racial because now I'm more comfortable with my own people. Though some of them are psychopaths, some of them they are difficult to deal with, but I still feel comfortable with my own race. Because now I'm scared of the albinoid race. Knowing all these things I know my life means nothing to them. They can take my life at any time. Our lives as a race means nothing to them. Either we are alive, either we are dead. we are always something useful. Then we have the religion racism. Religion racism goes this way. I started a video by explaining what happened in Israel, how the Roman Empire came to Israel, and actually Jesus actually informed them, and the one that listened to Jesus fled to Africa. The one that stayed over was taken to the Colosseum to use for a gladiator, and some were killed there. But this religion racism actually now turns everything upside down. So basically everything is against us through this system. Religion, we are Hebrews. Remember the Hebrew slave? We are Hebrews. And our religion is the Hebrew religion, not Christianity. Then the ones behind the racist system, what have they done? They have now created Christianity. You see, they always tell credible lies. Credible lies does not mean it's the truth. It means it is credible because it's close to the truth. Now, stigmatizing a black man to be criminal is now become a credible lie. When a black man does something and is not guilty, but because they've stigmatized the melanin male as a criminal, they will say, no, definitely he has done something. And everybody will believe he has done something. And that is why we should fight every word that comes against us. We shouldn't let it slide, because they are actually implementing destruction upon us. People, I mean, you may see me somewhere, whatever like that, I'm cool, calm, and collected. But when you abuse me to my face, I will respond to you immediately. I will give it back to you immediately. I will not allow you to plant evil words against me and I say nothing about it because I want to be cool, calm, and collected. Are you kidding me? Words are powerful. They can build and destroy a person's life. The racist system knows how to launch slander campaign because they are planting words for the destruction of that targeted individual or targeted race. And for years, they've been stigmatizing the melanin race. We're criminals, we're prostitutes, we're no good, we're lazy, we're this. But still yet, this lazy race was the one that taught you how to read and write. Yes, the melanin. We taught the Europeans how to read and write. We taught them how to build boats. We taught them what they know apart from this racist system they established on their own. So, the Hebrew religion is our own religion. Christianity is a religion created for the racist system. That is why you have white Jesus. The tribe, Jesus Christ, is from the tribe of Judah. In the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, there's nothing like the white race. You can have a light-skinned melanin or a dark-skinned melanin such as myself, or even darker skin. I am even chocolate right. You are people even darker than me. There's nothing like albinoid in the Bible. There's light melanin, dark melanin, because we are the original human race. So this is the point I'm giving today, and I'll give the part 2 on poverty, how they are using poverty to control us. But still yet, we have a system attacking us. Please join me for the part 2 of this vlog, how they implement the racist system. Okay? So I will see you in the part 2. My name is Abimbola. Remember, the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. So, as I always say, face your fears, elevate your mind, and resist every temptation to panic. Until the next time, it's from me, Lady Abimbola. Thank you for joining me today. Bye.
You don't kidnap human beings. That's how you treat animals. You don't put human beings in shackles. That's what you do to animals. You don't beat them and burn them at the stakes. That's how you treat animals. You don't put human beings on no auction block. That's what you do to animals. You don't beat human beings with whips. That's what you do to animals. So the goal of the slave master was to treat us as less than what we really were until we began to believe that we actually were that. It is a scientific fact that if I can put it in your mind in the form of a thought, that all thoughts become words, all words become actions, all actions become habits, and all habits form your character, and your character dictates your destiny or your future. So if you've got the wrong original thought in your mind, then the future don't look too good.